and I work at the Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service in Parker County as the 4-H programming assistant. So over the course of the next several days, I'm going to be going over some basic horse things with y'all, okay? For some of you, it might feel a little bit like a review, but I know there's a lot of kids out there that don't know these basic essential bits of knowledge that every horse kid should know. So today we're going to go over how to properly put on a halter. So basically we have two main types of halters. We have your regular standard halter. This is probably what a lot of you see when you go to the feed store. There's usually a wall of halters that look like this. They can either be nylon or they can be leather. This particular halter is leather. What you'll notice about this halter that might be different than what you normally see at the feed store is this one has two buckles. So we've got a buckle on the right side and we have a buckle on the left side. That is not really necessary. You don't have to have two buckles. A lot of times if you buy a halter from the feed store, you're just gonna have one buckle and it's gonna be on the left side. So you'll either have a halter with two buckles on each side of the crown piece, or you're gonna have one buckle, and if you have one, it's always gonna be on the left side, okay? So that's the most important thing to remember about this type of halter. The other type of halter that a lot of you might have seen before is a rope halter. And let me get this guy out. So this is just your standard run-of-the-mill rope halter. It kind of looks like this. Sometimes it gets tangled up, okay? So it's less structured looking than our leather halter that we were just looking at. And sometimes the rope halters will come with a lead rope already attached. Sometimes you have to purchase that separately. It totally depends. It doesn't really matter one way or the other if there's a lead rope attached already or if you have to get it separately. It's just personal preference. So the rope halter is a little bit trickier to put on because you need to know how to tie the knot correctly. So we'll go over how to put on both of these halters here in just a second. Stay tuned while I go grab a horse. All right, so I've got my helper with me. This is Cholula. She is a 6-year-old quarter horse, and she's actually a quarter horse and a paint, even though she doesn't have any spots. So she is my 6-year-old reining horse that I compete with, and she is gonna help us out today in showing y'all how to put on a halter. So we're gonna start with our leather halter that y'all saw earlier. Remember, this one has two buckles. We're only gonna work with the buckle on the left side. So if you have a halter with two buckles, when you put it on, you ignore the buckle on the right. You always work on the left side. So to put the halter on, if she'll be still, you're gonna take it in two hands like this. Come here, princess. And then you're going to slide it over her nose, bring the crown piece around behind her ears, and you simply buckle it, okay? It's super important that you don't just buckle it like this, okay? Don't be lazy. The buckle is designed for a reason, so make sure you put that tail piece all the way into the buckle so it's properly closed. The reason you have to do it that way is if you leave your buckle like this and you tie your horse up and they spook and they set back, this buckle can actually come completely undone and then you have a loose horse running around. So you need to make sure that you go ahead and tuck that tail piece in. Now, since this halter has two buckles, one on each side, the buckle on the other side can be used to just adjust the size. So if I needed to lift this up a little bit more on her head, I could go ahead and use that buckle on the right side, but it's not for putting on. So this is a pretty good fitting halter on her. A couple of things to remember when you do bring the crown piece over their head. You don't want to just slap it across like that, especially if you have a young horse. A lot of times that can spook them. So you want to be real gentle when you're bringing the crown piece behind the ears. Buckle it securely, and you're done. So that is your regular leather or nylon buckle halter, and we'll go over the rope halter next. All right, so next we're gonna go over how to properly put on our rope halter. So same basic thing, we're only gonna work on the left side. Same way, you slide it over her nose. She's gonna try to eat the lead rope. So I'm going to gently, hey, that's not nice. I'm gonna gently slide it over her nose. And same thing, be really careful when I'm bringing the crown piece across. I don't wanna slap it on her face. So when you do the buckle, or the knot, okay, this is the trickiest part. You're going to take the end of your rope halter, stick it through this little eyelet hole. Go ahead and get it to the right tightness that you want. So about right there is where I like mine. When you tie the halter, you're gonna make kind of a backwards D, come behind the eyelet piece, and bring your knot through like that. So your knot should look like this after you put it on. We'll do that one more time. So I've brought my rope through the eye. I'm gonna make a backwards D, come behind and through our D shape, and pull that knot tight. As you can see, there's a lot of leftover crown piece. I just like to tuck that in right there just to keep it out of the way. But the most important thing when you tie your knot is you tie it around the eye hole. You do not tie it up here, okay? This is a no-no, all right? You do it around this piece. And the reason for that is if you tie it around up here, then if your horse sets back or spooks or does something silly, that knot's gonna get so tight, you're gonna have a really difficult time undoing it later on. So you always tie it down here, tuck your tail in, and that's it.